Georgia Clardy died in a nursing home in Kansas City in April 2020 after contracting COVID-19, one of 100,000 such cases in facilities across the United States. Her daughter, Garnice Robertson, says the home failed to prevent a deadly outbreak of the disease.
I was going there, one, to have them bring my mother down so I could see her because of something prior. And when they brought her down, she had a mask on. So they immediately came outside to me and said, oh, by the way, we have our first case or cases of the virus. So my question to them was, if you have a known case, why is my mother down in the lobby? Why is she not in her room? And why haven't any of us been contacted? Because what they said was, we're sending letters to everybody. You can't send me a letter to get 4 or 5 days later, and the virus is in the facility.
But the Riverbend Post-Acute Rehabilitation, where Georgia died, is one of at least 36 facilities claiming legal immunity in such wrongful death cases under a 2005 law known as the PrEP Act. It was amended recently following lobbying efforts by the elderly care industry. The Department of Health and Human Services says it now applies to organizations who fail to provide appropriate protective equipment or properly trained staff, an allegation in most of the nursing home lawsuits. Law professor Mike Duff from Wyoming University.
The purpose of the act was to provide us immunity to persons who are actually manufacturing and distributing countermeasures, vaccines, treatments, and so forth that are meant to counter a virus, an illness, a pandemic, just the kinds of things that we're witnessing now. And so there is sweeping immunity under this law, so that however the liability might be styled, there's a lot of ways you can sort of characterize liability in law, like if it's tort liability or some kind of contract theory, it's very, very sweeping. The only thing that's not exempted is willful or intentional conduct, but that's very, very hard to prove.
So far, no judge has adopted the nursing home's view of the law. But legal arguments about whether invoking the PrEP Act means that cases should be held in a federal rather than state court has led to months of delays for relatives like Garnice Robertson.
If I entrust you with the health and welfare of my loved one, I expect you to hold that to the utmost. And yet I think for them to allow laws to protect them is not right. It's just not right. So, it's emotional for me even to think about it and talk about it. But if I'm feeling the way I feel, how do you think all these other people feel about the system allowing them to get by with this? It's not right. It's not right, and it's not fair, because we now, for the rest of our life, we have to deal with this and how all this happened, because they're not held accountable.